before 9/11, like 1970 and 71 and 69. I was an iron worker. I was an apprentice welder. All that work that's being done up there, I used to do that type of work. Okay, we built a lot of the elevators that, the elevator shafts. We've made a lot of the iron that went into the buildings. So I would work here maybe 2 or 3 weeks, and then I would work on another building. So I never worked on these buildings until they, never completed. Well, anyway, years later, after everything was completed and a lot of the construction work stopped, I had to look for a different type of job. One of the things I always wanted to be was a firefighter, so that was going to be my new profession. Okay, I became a firefighter in a little town called Broad Channel. It's right by Kennedy Airport, if anybody came into Kennedy Airport. Well, anyway, we handle Kennedy Airport on all different emergencies. I've been involved in a lot of different jobs, airplane crashes, train crashes, a lot of car crashes. Not too many fires, but I've been involved with that too. Okay, I special trained with working on the fire trucks, also working on ambulances. Okay, so like I said, I live on the water, so we also have rescue boats where we do water rescues too during the summer. Anyway, on that particular day, it was my day off for my secondary job, and I was home sleeping, and my wife woke me up and said, "Bob, a plane just crashed into the World Trade Center." I jumped up, I'd seen what was happening on television as well as everybody else, but only I knew where I was going. So I got dressed real quick. My firehouse is only a couple of blocks from my house. I ran, "Did you hear what just happened?" And they said, "Yeah, teletype was going crazy, the television, the telephones and everything." So I said, "Well, I'm pretty sure we're going, so why don't we get some extra equipment and put it on the ambulances because we're probably going to need it, So at the time, I was a captain. I could give the orders. I had one guy that was a medic, one guy that was an EMT, one guy that was a driver and a radio man, and myself as the officer. Well, anyway, we started stocking up the ambulances, and the telephone rang. It was New York City Fire Department, EMS. They wanted to know if we had any units available, and we told them, yes, we got 1 unit available. We could probably have another 2 or 3 units available in a half hour's time. So they said, "All right, fine, we'll call you back." A little more time went by, they called back, and they said, "Listen, you're going to the World Trade Center, you're going to Liberty and West Street, that's right here, the bridge, all right? That's going to be the staging area." So we said, fine. We knew where it was. We took off. It took us about 14, 15 minutes to get here. We came up out of the tunnel over here from Brooklyn, and there were some people from the police department there, and they pointed us down to this direction. And we said, fine. We pulled up on the corner over there. There was a couple of people from EMS, the fire department, police department. There was about maybe 50 or 60 civilians in the street here taking pictures. And the EMS captain said to me, "Listen, you can't keep the unit there. Take the unit and put it underneath the crosswalk on this here side. We got to keep that area open for units coming in and out." So he said, fine. He said, "Hurry up because you guys are the next guys going in." So we went, we parked, and we got the stretcher out. We walked over to the EMS captain, and he said, "Listen, you're going into the South Tower. You're going in for some people that are burnt and injured in the elevator. And you're going through the Marriott Hotel, which was directly right across the street. It was connected into the crosswalk. All these buildings are connected one way or another, underground or above." So we said, fine. We got the stretcher. We started walking down. There was a big set of doors by the Marriott Hotel. And there was a gentleman that was standing there. And as we walked down, he put his hand up to stop. And there was a lot of debris coming down. Use your own imagination on debris, okay? Nobody should ever witness that kind of a death, believe me. It's one of them things that you don't want to see. We hesitated, we allowed it to fall. We proceeded to go in after it landed. As we walked down, I guess we walked maybe another 5 or 10 feet, and all of a sudden there was a large rumble. We looked up, and here comes the building. By the time we heard that building coming down, it was already halfway down. Okay? It took 12 seconds for that building to come down. Okay? It fell at 250 miles an hour. Okay? As it pancaked down, the amount of pressure blowing out the sides and windows and everything else took me from that side of the street over there and landing by the third set of windows over here. Okay? The only thing that stopped me from coming through the windows that wasn't here anymore or crashing into the wall, which I probably did, but I don't remember it, was there was a lot of debris that hit me and landed and pushed me into the ground. Okay? At that point, there was total silence. There was no noise. There was nothing. It was pitch black. And I kept on thinking to myself, well, if I'm dead, that was a nice, peaceful way of going. And whatever the case may be, get on with it. You know. And then after a few minutes' time, I said, no, I can't be dead. I know I'm outside. I know, it's going to become daylight. And slowly but surely, it started turning like a brownish color. There was still a lot of debris falling. It was like a snowstorm with all the stuff that was coming down, the dust. I managed to get myself out of the debris that I was underneath. It wasn't all that heavy. By then, I started feeling a lot of pain, so I knew I wasn't dead. Anyway, I came to the center windows here. There was only about maybe 20 or 30 people left in the area. Okay, and I kept on telling them, get into the building, it's unsafe, get into the building. Well, when we got into the building here, there was a lot of blood all over my hands, and by then I was in extreme pain, and I kept on telling the people, we got to go in that direction, the water's down there, keep on going, go that way. And I went with them, and as I walked, I kept on falling down and picking myself up and saying, I'm going to have a heart attack. I know I'm going to have a heart attack, but it didn't happen, okay? When I got down by the water, there was a New York City fireboat there. They took me and a lot of other people, took us over to Jersey. When I got on the fireboat, that was the end of it. I couldn't move no more. When they got me in Jersey over another staging area, they took me to the hospital. They found out that I had a fractured skull. I had all kinds of nerve trauma to my neck. Both of my shoulders were fractured. I had a broken nose. I had 6 fractured toes, which I don't know how I got that, but I got it, okay? Plus my hearing went. Anyway, it took 5 months for me to get back to this area. When I did get back to this area, the emotional stress was too much to handle. I had to go through a lot of physical and mental therapy. This is part of my therapy. Okay, and I'll probably be doing it for the rest of my life because this doesn't go away. Okay, it's always there, and sometimes it gets a little hard to deal with it, but if you learn how to deal, okay. Within 6 months' time, I did have a heart attack. They call it a trauma heart attack, where a blood clot went to my heart from the different bruises and everything that I had, which almost killed me. I had something like 5 major operations to put me back into shape. It took about 2 years to really get back in shape. Now, like a lot of other people that worked here, I suffer from emphysema and asthma. I'm being treated for a lot of different things. I don't know what the long term is going to be, but I live day by day and I try and enjoy every minute that I can. Okay? I don't work anymore. I collect a disability. I can't just do it anymore. I missed the fire department. I was on it for 14 years, and it was really a good time with a lot of different things. My men did survive. 2 of them got banged up pretty badly, but they survived. The third guy, who was the youngest, walked through the whole thing and just got dirty. Okay? If I had it to do over again, I gladly do it because it was part of my job as being a firefighter. So that's it. If anybody's got any questions, I like to wait until the end because this way I can talk face to face with people and it makes it much easier to answer your questions. Other than that, I thank you very much.